Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, hello and welcome to the Midweek Mastery Call. This is your quick, powerful way to just do a check in, to refocus, and to come back to center, come back to your grounded self. So, thank you so much for joining me. I'm Abby Cameron, your confidence coach. So, I have been coaching for over 11 years. I help women rebuild their confidence, set healthy boundaries, and maintain a lifestyle that they truly want to live. I am a certified Martha Beck coach and a recently certified Equus coach. So, Equus coaching is basically an experiential coaching method where I use horses as a mirror to help people gain more self confidence, help women gain more self confidence. So, I have added that program to my list of many. Coaching modalities within my practice. So today I'm going to be dismantling the biggest confidence myth that I see among my clients. So we're also going to be talking about how you build confidence, and you're going to walk away today with several actionable strategies to start stepping back into your power today. So have you ever thought, I'll do it when I feel ready? Like maybe you wanted to speak up in a meeting. Maybe you wanted to try to set a healthy boundary with someone. Maybe you're trying to start a new business or start a new project, and you just kept saying, I'll do it when I feel ready. But what if I told you that waiting to feel ready is exactly what is keeping you stuck? Confidence is something that we are born with. We have always had confidence, but somehow we lose it along the way. Think about this. Think about a toddler. When a toddler's first learning to walk, it's going to fall down, it's going to get back up, it's going to try again. There is that pure determination without any self doubt. They are not going through the process questioning whether or not they are good enough to walk. They just believe that they can. So, what happens? Why do we lose our confidence? And the first reason is our pre-existing conditioning. So basically, from a very young age, we start to absorb all of these messages from our parents, from our caretakers, from our culture, from our friends, and we start to internalize all of these messages. If we have repeating messages of we're not good enough, we're too much, then we start to absorb self doubt. So, immediately from the beginning, we are being conditioned out of our confidence. There's also fear of judgment. Go back to kind of your teenage years, right? You start worrying about what your friends are doing. You start worrying about what your friends are saying all the time. When we start to prioritize that external validation, when we start worrying about what everybody else thinks we should or shouldn't do, we start to second guess ourselves. So, fear of judgment is another reason that our confidence is stripped away from us. Then there's our experience. So, our mind does this wicked thing where it will compare every new experience with every setback and every failure we've had in the past. So, of course, that's going to make our confidence shaky if it's comparing everything new to all of our past failures, right? So, another reason why we lack confidence in adulthood. Then there's just a lack of a supportive environment. If you grew up in an unsupportive environment where it was not safe to be yourself, your confidence is going to be dampened. Confidence is going to thrive in very safe, very emotionally safe, psychologically safe environments. So if you didn't have that growing up in some capacity, confidence is going to be a struggle for you. And then let's face it, we live in a comparison culture, right? With the dawn of social media, we're looking at all these other people's lives all over the internet. When we start to compare ourselves to others, we go from trusting what we know to be true for us, we go from trusting ourselves to measuring our worth against everybody else. So, if you are waiting until you are ready, I'm here to tell you that you will never be ready. You are always going to stay in that place of being stuck because those five key reasons, your conditioning, your fear of judgment, your experience, your lack of supportive environments, the comparison culture we live in, is always going to be holding you back. The good news is confidence doesn't happen until you take action. It's actually an outcome of taking action. So, let me give you an example of something that happened to me recently where I was not quite ready to take action, but I did it anyway. So, as I said, I'm a recently certified Equus coach, and I decided that I was going to hold my first workshop with with horses. And so I had never done this before. I have held many workshops. I have taught many classes. So that part wasn't nerve-wracking to me at all. But adding all the uncontrollables of a live animal as giant as a horse, right? And I had several that I was going to be using in this workshop. Then I was working with a facility that was also out of my control. I didn't know what the barn was going to be like when I showed up. Then there's the weather. It's an outdoor workshop. I had no idea what the weather was going to be like that day. So to say that my confidence was a bit shaky is an understatement. And I didn't really feel ready when it came down to actually putting on this workshop. But I also knew that if I didn't actually do the workshop, then no one would ever learn about this new Equus coaching modality that I have to offer, and no one would be able to experience the transformational power of these incredibly intuitive animals. And so, what did I do? Despite lacking the confidence, I went ahead and put on the workshop, and it was a huge hit. Now, were there things that I could do different? Yes. Were there things out of my control? I wish I could have changed. Absolutely. But getting through it and actually doing it, taking action and doing it, gave me the confidence where I am now putting on several more workshops coming this spring and later this fall for my Equus workshops. So, the reason why I wanted to share that is because there's something really important when we talk about confidence. It's not something that you actually start with. You don't have to have confidence to actually begin something. I didn't have the confidence to start my workshop. So, there is something called the confidence loop that I want to share with you today. Before you need to start, you need to have courage. Courage is the very first thing. It allows you to take that first step to move past self doubt, to move past fear, to move past imposter syndrome. So, having the courage to just do something in the first place. That's what I had to do in order for me to put on my Equus workshop, is I actually had to have the courage despite whether or not I was ready. Then once you have the courage, then you move into taking action. Action is where you start to gather all of the experience, you gather all of the learning. You aren't going to know anything or learn anything until you actually take the action. And this is where I really like to share the idea of what fail truly means. In my world as a coach, when I talk to my clients about failure, I use fail as an acronym. Instead of it meaning this event that happened that didn't work or didn't go our way or maybe set us back in some way, we shift and turn fail into a first attempt at learning. So simply, it's an acronym for first attempt at learning. So that's what action is, finding the courage to do it and then actually doing it and learning from it. What did you take away from it? So, again, going back to my workshop, I wasn't exactly prepared, but there was a lot of things that I learned from that workshop that's going to make the next one and the next one and the next one even more better. Then the outcome of courage in action is actually the confidence. Right. So you have the confidence loop. You don't start with confidence. You actually start with the courage, move into action, and then you find your confidence. So let's talk about a few practical strategies that will help you start stepping into your power today, ways that you can actually start building your confidence. And the first one is a concept from Mel Robbins. If you listen to her at all, you'll hear her talk about this a lot, but it's called the 5 second rule. And it's based on this idea that if you have an instinct to act on something, you have exactly 5 seconds before your brain will kill the idea, before it will completely dismantle it. So, whether you want to speak up in a meeting, whether you want to have a difficult conversation with somebody, or whether you just want to get out of bed earlier because you're trying to start a healthy new habit. Count down from 5. Give yourselves 5 seconds before you actually start to take action. And then when you get down to 1, take the action. Now, the countdown is the key important part. You actually have to say out loud or in your mind 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reason being is you've got to give your mind something else. You have to distract it in a way with something so you don't start overthinking, you don't start overanalyzing. So, how do you put the 5-second rule into practice? Let's say you're wanting to get up earlier to work out, to meditate, to write, just to have some more time for yourself in the morning. The way the 5-second rule works, you set your alarm for the time that you want to get up. When the alarm goes off, you count down from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as soon as you get to 1, you immediately get out of bed. Don't hit your snooze button. Don't roll over. Count down from 5 and then immediately get out of bed. Same thing if you're wanting to speak up in a meeting. You have an idea, there's something that you want to share. Count down from 5 in your mind. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as soon as you get to 1, raise your hand or go ahead and speak up. The 5-second rule is incredibly powerful, again, because it keeps you from overthinking and overanalyzing, because this is what our mind does. This goes back to that experience thing that I was talking about earlier that robs us of our confidence. Is your mind will start to tell you things, that inner critic will start to tell you things that will keep you from moving forward, to keep you from saying something, to keep you from getting out of bed. Our mind likes to tell us a whole bunch of lies. So use the 5-second rule to help you out in that case. Another strategy is to reframe your self talk. Words have incredible power. Okay, really let that sink in. Words have incredible power. What you tell yourself, your brain is cataloging as important. So if you are using the words, I'm not ready, you are signaling to your brain, like, okay, great, we are not ready. So, anytime you're trying to start a new project, anytime you're trying to have a difficult conversation, anytime you are trying to be assertive or lead in some way, if you have told your brain that you are not ready, it will find a million reasons why you are not ready. And it will hold you back and it will keep you stuck. So, use that to your advantage and reframe your words. So, instead of saying, I'm not ready, say something like, I am learning as I go. I have enough information to get started. I'm going to go ahead and take action. Something else. This is why affirmations work, because you are telling your brain what is important to you. You are signaling to your nervous system that everything's going to be okay, that if you go ahead and move forward, if you say the thing you need to say, stand up for yourself, you get up a little bit earlier, that the world is not going to come crashing down. So be very mindful of your words. So reframe your self talk. Make sure that your inner critic doesn't have anything to go on. Another strategy is going to be micro wins. So, in my world, what I call those are turtle steps. Set one tiny goal, a very doable goal that can happen in a moment, something that doesn't take a lot of time, something that is very doable and doesn't feel very big and overwhelming. Small steps create momentum. So if there's something that you want to do and you don't quite have the confidence to do it, you don't quite feel ready to do it, write it down on a piece of paper. Okay. On the right side of the piece of paper, this is your goal. This is where you want to go. This is the thing you want to do or the thing you want to say. And then start writing all of your steps backwards. Very small steps. And then take one step every single day, and it will eventually get you to that goal. Because remember, go back to that confidence loop. Find the courage to take that one step, then do the actual step. And the more steps that you do gets you to that goal and then builds your confidence over time. So, what I want now is I want you to think of a time where you did something. I shared my example of when I went ahead and put on this Equus workshop, even when I didn't feel quite prepared. But think of a time when you did something before you were ready. And what did you learn from it? How did it turn out when you just went ahead and did it, even though you didn't feel prepared? How did it turn out? So let me know in the chat if you're here on the live version. Let me know in the comments below if you are watching this recording later on. But I'm curious. I want to know what happens. Did you eventually find that confidence just by pushing through and actually doing it? So, few key takeaways that I want you to remember when we're talking about this confidence myth of we have to wait to be ready before we can actually take action. Remember, it's not true. We are born with confidence. Confidence is built through action and not before it. Okay, go back to that toddler example. A toddler is not second guessing whether or not it can walk or if it's good enough to walk. We inherently know how to be confident. So it's not built through action. It is built through action, excuse me, not before it. You don't need to feel ready before you have to take your first step. Just find the courage, take that action, and then gain back the confidence that we have had all along. So, this is my challenge to you. If there's something that you have in your life that you've been wanting to do, that you have just been putting off because you have not felt ready, then I encourage you to take the time to actually do it. Make that plan of making those micro wins, break it out into very small, manageable steps, and do it. And then come back and let me know. Let me know how it worked out for you. Again, this is just a very quick midweek mindset call just to check in and refocus. So if you found this helpful, please join me. I'm going to start doing these calls a lot more regularly. Next call is going to be on how to set some healthy boundaries because a lot of times we say yes, even when we really want to say no. So be on the lookout for when that's coming next month. You can check out all of the future events that I have coming out on my website, which is indigocoaching.net. And thank you very much for joining me today. I am very grateful for you. I know that you can do this. I know that you can find the confidence to move forward, and may your life be rich, abundant, and forever wild. Thanks so much, you guys. I love your comments. I appreciate that. Good to see you all. Thank you.